everyone. Today, I invited another amazing guest, Serena, on our show, and we're going to cover a lot of interesting topic because she has so many buzzwords on her resume. And so today is about Serena and Serene. I like that combo. So Serena is the CEO of Teacup Inc. Interesting name, and what she does is even more interesting than that. I will let her to tell you guys more. And so to begin with, her resume goes start with Cornell. Okay, so I want to ask Serena, like, why did you pick Cornell? And how did you pick your major when you were younger?
Yeah, definitely. Well, hello, everybody. Super awesome to be invited here to chat with you guys today. And Serene, great to see you. So in terms of Cornell and my major, which is the hotel school, as they call it at Cornell, it was because of my family background, my father has been in the hospitality industry, which has really inspired me to entertain the option of applying for this major within Cornell to pursue a potential career path within hotel operations, real estate, and finance. So when I was, 18, and well, I think at that time I was like still not even 18 yet. When I got the offer letter, it was actually between Cornell and Brown University, those two that I was choosing between. So Cornell, as most of you guys may know, when you're applying for the university, you have to choose among the different colleges that they have. So my admission was to the School of Hotel Administration, as they call it that time, within Cornell. And for Brown, it was a general admission into the entire university. So Brown doesn't really have like specific colleges within the school itself, versus Cornell has specific colleges that your admission will be attached to. So for me at that time, choosing between a more focused career path, which is what the School of Hotel Administration indicated, versus Brown, which kind of it felt to me at that time more like another 4 years of high school, almost, because of the lack of, you don't have to declare a major during the first year. There isn't really like a clear career path down the road. So at my 17-year-old kind of like mindset, I wanted at that time a more clear career path, which was what the hotel school at Cornell seemingly promised me. So which kind of finalized and helped me to make the decision to choose Cornell over Brown.
Mm-hmm. So the underlying here is she got into Cornell and Brown, and she chose Cornell. Okay, I love that story. So Brown actually has this open curriculum. I love that you mentioned that. So a lot of people not really understand about it, but basically, just like Serena said, it's basically you don't choose your major for the first year. And I really like she mentioned that it's a more clear career path when she chose Cornell. Also, I want to like briefly talk about, like, since you had that whole experience in Cornell and you also got the offer from Brown. So what do you think, what was something stand out in your application process?
I think it really was the personal essay that I wrote for both schools, which are completely different, because the personal essay that I wrote for Cornell was, described about my childhood and upbringing in the family that operates within the hospitality real estate environment, and how that shaped me and inspired me to be interested in a career path that my father had, and it's how that kind of shaped my personal interest in wanting to learn more about what he does, and also explore my potential interest in that field. And the one that I wrote for Brown, I remember it was one of those essays that I'm just so sick and tired of writing the same standard safe template type of personal essay. And for Brown, I kind of just I was like, I'm just gonna express myself freely and then be super creative with this essay. And I think I wrote about something about cycling and art and a really free flowing essay. And I remember my counselor at that time, he was like a little puzzled by this because this is so out of the box. It
Mhm.
is not the typical, you know, demonstrate your, it's not like a template cookie cutter essay at all. And that was one essay that I took the liberty to just had a lot of creative juice flowing in as a free flowing and artistic form, essay form. Um, Looking back at it, I think it was that essay, definitely was that essay of how creative and how out of the box it was that got me into Brown. Because, if you think about it, it really fits with what Brown stands for and the kind of people and students that they're hoping to educate is
Mhm.
someone that is, more uh, like
Yeah,
out of the
that
box.
that's actually a very, very helpful and insightful like idea or suggestion for anyone who want to apply Ivy League or Cornell or Brown, especially when Serena mentioned like Brown, very like they really like creative, think outside the box, and the free format. Because I actually had the chance to work in admission office for like a year, and as for the person who actually read a lot of people's essay, a lot of them just the same. When you cover the name, it's the same thing. Just like you said, it's like a hamburger essay, the introduction, the first paragraph, leadership, the second paragraph, critical thinking. It's very, very similar. So I really like you shared this experience with everyone. So just like I mentioned, Brown, Cornell, this is just the beginning, right? The education background part of Serena's CV. Then move forward, so her major is hotel school, but the job she get is in Wall Street, finance. So how did you get into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really kind of it's kind of contradictory to what I mentioned earlier, because when I said that I chose the hotel school at Cornell was because I felt like at that time it gave me a really clear path towards a certain set of career options. But as a matter of fact, after 4 years at Cornell, the hotel school, it has allowed me to see that, the hotel industry, the reason, well, I think there is one really interesting fact between the hotel school at Cornell versus the hospitality education in Switzerland, which everybody's probably well known. I think the hotel school was known as the world's #1 hospitality program in the world. It differs from the one in Switzerland in a sense that the one in Cornell focuses more on the real estate aspect
Mhm.
of hotels and also the finance aspect of real estate, which was the paths that draw me the most during my 4 years at Cornell. So I spent a lot of time doing internships within real estate and finance, and which kind of deviated my path from a traditional hotel operations type of career, but
Mhm.
more towards finance. So my past internships within investment banking and sales and trading kind of really opened my eyes to a much broader and bigger platform outside of just hotels, but more so on the global capital markets. And ultimately, after a few successful internships and also various kind of extracurriculum activities on campus and classes that I've chosen more
Mhm.
geared towards traditional finance, that ultimately led me to a pretty long-term career, I would say, almost 6 years, 6 to 7 years on Wall Street as an investment banker, specifically on the sales and trading capital market side.
I really love your story because basically you're telling everyone, even though you chose your major, that's not your limitation. You still get the chance to explore. And once, if you got into your first internship, the second internship, and you chose the class that meets the requirement or give you the skill to do the job you want, you can actually transfer from the major you chose to the career that you are actually interested in.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
I think it's like your life decisions is not like your life path is not determined on one or two decisions that you make right now, which I think, knowing that really takes a lot of the pressure off of your shoulder when you're making those critical decisions in your lives.
that's very inspiring. So let's talk about as a woman in finance in Wall Street, how is the work? Like, how do you feel about that?
As you would probably imagine, in a typical kind of Wall Street trading floor setting, like being one of the very few women on the floor and surrounded by, your typical Wall Street type of like bros and the broy boys club type of culture. It's took some time to get used to, but I do think that once you're able to survive and even if you can thrive in that environment, it really gives you a really solid training ground in terms of being able to handle all kinds of people and being able to put up with a lot of difficulties and in your career path, and then really training you on the type of execution skills and ability to handle a lot of pressure really really well. So it was not easy, I would have to say, but once you can conquer that challenge, I do think that builds character and personality and allowing to be able to succeed in whatever you set your heart and mind to on your next endeavor, which in my case was absolutely really, really helpful to having had that experience.
So actually, when I met Serena, like you are in the, I think it's the transition between finance and tech world. That's when I met you. So the next step in your career path was Silicon Valley. So what was that change?
Yeah, for sure. And I think there are definitely overlapping experiences, just like many things that, oftentimes lead to the next journey was because of something that you've seen on your current path that made you pique your interest and made you become curious and want to learn more. And then once after some exploration, which was during the time when we met Serene, when I was still kind of exploring what that side of the world was like, what that part of the country was like. And at that time, I actually have started become heading up the North America chapter for a global organization that elevates and empowers female entrepreneurs called She Loves Tech. So I am the head of North America for She Loves Tech, which is an organization that has resources provided for women entrepreneurs. And through that experience, I've really got myself connected within the VC ecosystem in the US and in Canada as well. And then being able to understand what that part of the world is like and what it was like to be a female entrepreneur, which has a lot of similarity between the entrepreneurship for a woman and the investment banking world for a woman as well. And then enjoying a lot of that parallel and understanding the issues that for a woman would face in a male dominated industry. I think we were able to provide a lot of resources and help and support for female entrepreneurs, especially in tech. So through that experience, that has ultimately got me to be hard about one of my clients, which was a real estate hedge fund, to helping them establish a venture capital fund, leveraging the real estate ecosystem. So that was an opportunity that got me to move from New York, from Wall Street to San Francisco, the Silicon Valley of the tech bubble, hub of the world, we can call it a bubble. So through that experience, I really got to work on, setting up this fund and talking to different founders and really getting into the details of what it means to be an entrepreneur, to be a founder, and what the investors of the venture capital will look for when it comes to identifying potentially successful, potential unicorn tech startups. And that was a wildly exciting journey, and I've learned so much about tech and venture capital investing.
So it's all like amazing experience. And now you are a female entrepreneur yourself. So I want to talk a little bit more about your current company. So what is your current company?
Yeah, so Teacup Inc. is the name of my company. So Teacup is it's a mission-driven tech startup that we aim to build the world's best go-to trusted online platform for the aging population. Essentially, it is a platform that we wanted to uh, we wanted to create a digital space where my parents and my grandparents' generation can feel confident, safe when they're interacting online, and as when they are, because of COVID, many older adults were forced to go online overnight. But the internet world really has been set up to be um, set up by the younger generation with products and tools and platforms created for the younger generation. So the older generation has always been forgotten when it comes to meeting their needs and leveraging technology to fulfill what they would need when it comes to an internet-driven type of product. So I saw that during COVID, the amount of older adults struggling to get on Zoom and struggling to meet other people virtually and struggling to stay vibrant after they, are enforced quarantine at their own home, especially after they have retired. They have literally no high quality ways to occupy their free time. And that was a great opportunity that I wanted to do more in this space in terms of like helping the older generation to have an easier time to leverage technology, especially mobile phone, which most of the people now have one, especially older adults. The adoption rate of smartphone during COVID was 75%, but the online content that is created for and by older adults is less than 2%. So that opens up a tremendous opportunity for entrepreneurs to build something that was designed and made with the older adults' needs in mind. And Teacup is a company that, with that mission in mind and with that vision, we wanted to really solve this problem and create something that that I know that the older generations in the world can benefit tremendously from.
So that's actually really great. So from your observation, you find this problem that you want to solve. And I was just so surprised because you're young and the problem you trying to solve right now is actually not directly happen to you or your friends, but like another generation. So where like, even though you just mentioned you observed a lot of people having trouble using Zoom or find a safe online community to talk or to social, but is there like anything that help you made the decision to start this company based on this idea, and what would the goal to be for this product? Yeah.
You're 100% right that I am essentially building a platform for a completely different generation. And it's important for me because I initially saw this problem through my own parents' struggle. My family is still in China at the moment, and during COVID, it was really difficult to see them and interact with them and take care of them. And as a matter of fact, I haven't got to see them for over 3 years because of the pandemic. So as they're as they're getting older and I'm so far away, and there's this traditional Chinese mentality of filial piety, where it's younger generation's more obligation to take care of the elderly, that really made me feel tremendously guilty for not being there, taking care of them during such a crazy time when my parents at this point, like near 60, and the one child policy in China has really made a lot of older parents tremendously lonely, given the social isolation situation that they're all involuntarily in. So I sense the level of loneliness from my own parents. And as I am talking to a lot of my friends who are based overseas as well, they shared this level of guilt that all of us feel for not being able to be near our parents and take care of them. And that was really that like personal feeling and personal experience were really the engine behind why I decided to quit my job in finance to start this company, because I know that I want to create a digital platform that my parents will be able to benefit from.
Mhm.
And I know that all of my friends' parents will be able to benefit from this. And in my view, at that point, that was good enough in terms of understanding that this is a product that there will be a need. And then as I'm doing more research and doing a lot of personal volunteering at various nonprofit organizations with a mission, with a goal to help the independence and dignity of the aging population,
Mhm.
I've come to realize this small little product and business idea that I had, hoping to help my own parents and my friends' parents, actually can speak to not just the Chinese parents, but also the US parents as well. And also, as a matter of fact, the global aging population. All of them are suffering from a lack of a digital platform for them to find like-minded people and to have a fourth social circle, as we call it. Fourth being outside of family, no friends, and ex-colleagues, because most of them have retired. How do we have a digital platform to help them find interest-based communities and help them find other people to talk to and share relevant information, find like-minded people. And that's ultimately what Teacup, represents, is that we want to represent a safe, trusted platform where we can facilitate these vibrant communities to help our parents stay more connected and stay more uplifted through what a mobile phone can offer.
I love it. It's definitely very inspiring. And so right now, can anyone try the platform now, or it's still building? Like, what's the stage now?
Yeah, we're still building the product right now, and our goal is to be able to publicly launch this product by Q4 of this year. So definitely stay tuned.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So if anyone have any question related to Serena's experience, especially if you want to know more about like Cornell, about the school, or about her company, her product, and her mission, you're very welcome to leave the comment. We will get back to you. All right. Thank you for Serena to be on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to chat with you, Serena.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.